Hello, welcome to my channel. If it's your first time here, my name is Skull God. And here on this channel, I talk about crime and demons. Yes, powerful, evil demons. Okay? Now, when I give my opinion, it's just that, my opinion. And it's not my intentions to be disrespectful to anyone and their beliefs. And my opinions are not facts. It's just my opinion. Now, with that said, I have a very, very evil and horror type story coming out of Georgetown, Massachusetts. Not far from Boston, Massachusetts. On February the 2nd, 2023, Georgetown Police Department received a phone call. It was an individual wanting a welfare check for 65-year-old Joseph Donahue, an elderly white man. And he was a lawyer in the city of Boston, Massachusetts. Now, when they received the phone call, they were told that this wasn't a normal address. It was the address at a houseboat. I mean, this houseboat is nice too. It's very nice, very beautiful. Now, this houseboat was in the city at the marina. Now, the police arrived at the houseboat and they were greeted at the door by a 24-year-old African-American young lady by the name of Nora Nelson. And she was acting weird from the beginning. Now, the police knew that this young lady stayed at that residence with Mr. Donahue. They knew that, and they knew her name. But when she greeted them, she told the police that her name was Casey, not Nora. So they knew she was lying. They knew she was lying, and she was acting strange. And when they asked Nora, say, where's Mr. Donahue? She gave some very contradicting answers and weird answers, and they just knew something was wrong. And with her at the time, she had a dog that kept barking, and it was a golden retriever. It was one of Joseph's golden retrievers. Okay. Now, the police asked her, "Can you put that dog up, please?" So she wouldn't let them in. She had her foot to the door, and she said, "Okay, well, let me put the dog up and I'll be back." So she kept the door, shut the door all the way, and the door was still locked. And the police, they could see through the crack. It looked like she was rearranging and moving some things, and they was like, So when she came back to the door, she opened the door. Yeah. Excuse me. Some water. It's 90-some degrees out here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's pretty hot. I need to hydrate. Back to the story. When Nora allowed the police to come in, they walked through the houseboat, and they were in the open area. And when they made it down the hallway towards the bedroom, that's when they saw something strange. And when they looked, it was a large piece of carpet. And when they really looked, they saw Joseph Donahue wrapped inside that carpet with duct tape. Excuse me, with duct tape, and had dumbbells attached to it, and it was tied up with some exercise jump rope. So she was about to, I don't know how, try to throw that body over the boat. Now, Mr. Joseph Donahue, he had two dogs. Now, the police found his other dog, Champ, floating in the water, not far from the boat. See, she had done strangled his other dog. Yes. strangled the other dog. The other dog was just floating not far from the boat. Yeah. So they immediately arrested her. Yeah. When they took her down to the station, the homicide detectives, during the interrogation, they knew something wasn't right with this young lady. She kept giving a false name, and they was like, she don't appear to be competent. And turns out that she was on medication. Now, it don't say what type of medication that she was on. You know, I don't want to assume what type of medication she was on. I know a lot of people, some family members and some friends that's on Zoloft, okay? But I don't know what she was on. And so they had a person, a psychiatrist, run some tests on her, and the psychiatrist said that, you know what, she is psychotic. And they said, no, she's not able to quite understand what's going on or how serious this situation is. So when they gave her a medication, she started coming back mentally, where she was more competent and couldn't understand what was going on and how serious her situation was. When they did the autopsy on Mr. Joseph, this poor man had 67 stab wounds. I'm gonna say it again. He has 67 stab wounds to the head and to the chest. Think about that. That's some serious overkill. Also, the blade was still lodged into his skull. Yeah. It broke off into his skull. It broke off into his skull. I can only imagine what this man was dealing with that night. Now, the police arrived at that houseboat that night around 10:30 p.m. Around 10:30 p.m. It doesn't say how long that they think he was deceased. It doesn't say that in the report. But he probably was deceased probably a couple of days. It didn't say how bad the body was deteriorating or decaying, I mean to say. It didn't say anything like that. But let me tell you something, man. This is just my opinion. That young lady was possessed for something powerful. Now, they're saying that, you know, she was at schizophrenia or, you know, was in a psychotic or psychosis state. Okay, I respect that. But my opinion, she was possessed by something so powerful and evil. It made her so aggressive and so dangerous. This man, Mr. Joseph, didn't have a chance. This guy was 65 years old. Now she's 24 years old. I don't have a problem with people, dating, age difference. I don't have no problem with that. But this is a strange looking couple to me. You know, they just look strange. Look very strange. Now they say that she was on some medication and she wasn't taking her medication. So I don't know before she unalived Mr. Donahue, how long she was off her medication. And did he know she was on medication? I'm pretty sure he did. This is my thing. Were there signs that she was capable of being this aggressive and this dangerous and this evil? Were there signs? My opinion, yes. Yes. I know individuals who are possessed, but you know, the correct terminology that they want to give it the name to it is, you know, they're psychotic or in psychosis or schizophrenia. You know, they're depressed. And trust me, I've been there myself. I have. But why is it so violent? When these people are going through this, why are they so violent? And what's inside of them? Why is it telling them to unalive a certain individual that's in their surroundings at the time? Why are they making this individual so violent that the average people can't comprehend that type of violence? 67 freaking times is how many times this man was stabbed in the head and in the chest. 67 times. And I don't want to sound disrespectful. I'm going to say this again. You know, people have to be more careful when you dating people and people are on medication, you know, because they have some sort of mental issue. Okay. You know, I'm sorry, you have to be very careful, be very selective of who you keep around you know, around yourself. I just don't feel like this man, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just feel like, you know, this young lady was too dangerous to be around this man. Even if she was on her medication and she appeared to be normal or not. Even on the medication, you go see signs this person is potentially dangerous. I have family members right now that's similar to this young lady, and they are dangerous. Oh yeah, very dangerous. So at the end of the day, as an individual, as a human being, it's your responsibility to keep yourself safe. And if you have kids, to keep the kids safe also. But first, you have to keep yourself safe. You have to keep yourself safe. And so they're charging this young lady with murder. Now, I don't know if they're going to find her competent or not to stand trial. I'm not for sure, but I'm pretty sure they will. They'll find a way. They'll find a way. They'll find a way. And when you look at her, you can see something's disturbing about this young lady. You know, it's almost like she don't look evil. She just look like she's under a spell. You can see it. She don't have a evil presence about herself. She don't look evil. But she just look like she's 100% possessed by an alpha demon. She does. When you look at her eyes, she just look like she's lost. You know? And when you are lost, you're thinking like, really, like what happened? What's going on? You know, what was it that came inside that young lady to make her so violent? To stab this man 67 times. That's almost 100. Almost 100. Yeah. Yes. Mr. Joseph lost his life. And he witnessed that night. something so demonic, vile, and evil that came out of that young lady. He witnessed a powerful demon that overpowered him. He was overpowered. And he lost his life. 67 times he was stabbed. 67 times. Okay. I'm going to end this video now. I want to give condolences to the family of Mr. Joseph Donahue, and also, share the love and I feel sorry for her family also, because her life is gone. And I don't know the young lady, or I try to find out as much information as I can about her, but she might have been a nice young lady. When she was off her meds, she became psychotic and evil and violent. And if it wasn't going to be Mr. Joseph Donahue that lost his life, she'd have did it to someone else. But that demon that was inside of her wanted her to end his life the way it did. At the same time, end her life, because her life has ended. If she come back to her normal self, where she's no longer possessed and her mind has stabilized, there's a chance she probably can't live with herself when she realizes what she done and how she done it. So she's been charged with murder for Mr. Joseph Donahue, also for the killing of his pet, his golden retriever, Champ. She strangled that dog to death and tossed it into the waters. Okay, my friends, I'm going to end the video now. So, like I end every video, be safe, be careful, be vigilant, be focused at all times. And the last thing is, you have to be very careful who you allow in your inner circle, your world. Be very selective. It's not your responsibility to try to change a person. It's your responsibility to make sure that you're okay and that you're safe. You can't change nobody. You can't. You can't. Okay, my friends. To the next video.